I'm stuck in an endless cycle, each day ends with my wife dying. It's hard to believe that I now dread waking up. Every morning, I keep my eyes shut for as long as I can, hoping that when I finally open them, something will have changed. My name is Marcus Thompson, and I'm 32 years old. I feel like I'm stuck in a never-ending nightmare. It all started just like any other day. I can still remember every little detail so clearly. The aroma of coffee drifting through the house, the sound of Alicia humming in the kitchen, and the gentle warmth of the sun shining through the bedroom window. When I got up and looked at the clock, it read 7:15 a.m., just like every other day. I walked downstairs, following the smell of breakfast. Alicia was at the stove, her back to me, flipping pancakes. Her curly hair was pulled up, and she was wearing my old college t-shirt, the one with a hole in the sleeve that she refused to throw away. "Hey, beautiful," I greeted, hugging her from behind and planting a kiss on her neck. She chuckled, leaning into my embrace. "Morning, sleepyhead. I thought you might oversleep again." "Not a chance," I reassured her, reaching over to grab a piece of bacon from the plate on the counter. "Can't be late today. Big presentation, remember?" Alicia playfully swiped at my hand. "How could I forget? You've been stressing about it for weeks." We enjoyed breakfast together, discussing our plans for the day. Alicia had a packed schedule at the elementary school where she taught 3rd grade. I had my important presentation to the board, which could result in a big promotion if successful. As I finished my coffee, Alicia checked her watch. "Oh, I need to get going. Parent-teacher conferences this afternoon, so I have to set up early." She got up, grabbed her bag and car keys, and I got up to walk her to the door, as was our routine. "Knock 'em dead today, babe," she said, stretching up on her toes to kiss me goodbye. "You're gonna do great." "Thanks," I replied, squeezing her hand. "Have a good day. Love you." "Love you too," she called over her shoulder as she headed for her car. I watched her pull out of the driveway, waving as she drove away. Then I went back inside to finish getting ready for work. The day went by quickly with lots of meetings and last-minute preparations. Finally, it was time for my presentation at 3 p.m. I was feeling excited and energetic, fueled by adrenaline and lots of coffee. Luckily, everything went well, even better than I had expected. The board was impressed, and my boss even hinted at a promotion as we finished up. I was overjoyed as I packed up my things, ready to head home and celebrate with Alicia. I pulled out my phone to call her, eager to share the good news right away. That's when everything changed. The phone kept ringing, once, twice, 3 times. Finally, a voice I didn't recognize picked up. "Hello, is this Marcus Thompson?" The woman's tone sent chills down my spine. "Yes, this is Marcus," I managed to say, my voice tight. "Who's calling?" "Mr. Thompson, this is Nurse Reeves from Mercy General Hospital. I'm calling about your wife, Alicia. There's been an accident." My heart sank, and I braced myself. "What happened? Is she okay?" There was a long pause before the nurse spoke again. "I'm afraid Alicia didn't make it. I'm so sorry for your loss." The phone slipped from my hand and clattered to the floor. It felt unreal. It had to be a mistake. I had just seen Alicia this morning. We had made dinner plans. She was fine. She had to be fine. The next few hours passed in a haze. Somehow, I made it to the hospital. I can still remember the harsh fluorescent lights, the antiseptic smell, and the pitying looks from the staff. And then, seeing her. She was lying there, so still, so unlike the vibrant woman I'd kissed goodbye that morning. I don't know how long I sat there, holding her hand, willing her to wake up. To smile at me one more time. To tell me this was all a cruel joke. But she didn't. And eventually, a gentle-voiced doctor came to take me away, to discuss arrangements I couldn't begin to comprehend. I don't remember driving home. I don't remember climbing the stairs to our bedroom, our bed, where Alicia would never sleep again. I just remember collapsing onto the mattress, still in my suit, and praying that when I woke up, this would all be a terrible dream. I managed to fall asleep at last, finding relief from the overwhelming grief. When I woke up, the aroma of coffee wafted up from downstairs, and the bedroom was filled with sunlight. For a brief moment, I dared to hope that my prayers had been answered. However, my hopes were dashed when I heard Alicia humming in the kitchen. My heart raced as I sat up in bed, only to realize that it was 7:15 a.m. according to the clock on the nightstand. It seemed impossible. I was in a rush to get downstairs after waking up and nearly stumbled out of bed. But when I got to the kitchen, there was Alicia, wearing my old college t-shirt and making pancakes. She greeted me with a smile, but I was in shock. It didn't seem possible for her to be alive and well. Alicia noticed my reaction and asked if I was okay. I couldn't find the words to respond, so I pulled her into a tight hug. After a moment, I managed to explain that I'd had a really bad dream. Alicia reassured me, and I tried to believe that everything was fine. But then I remembered the awful truth. Alicia had died yesterday morning. As we sat down for breakfast, my mind was in turmoil. Was it all just a dream? A product of stress and anxiety? The experience had felt so vivid and real. Yet, here was Alicia, perfectly fine, talking about her parent-teacher conferences as if nothing had occurred. I attempted to push aside the lingering unease as Alicia prepared to leave. But as she reached for her car keys, a wave of panic washed over me. Wait, I blurted out, reaching for her wrist. Don't drive today. Please. Alicia looked puzzled. What? Why? I struggled to find an explanation that wouldn't make me seem crazy. I have a bad feeling. Could you carpool with someone? Or maybe I could drive you. I need my car for errands after work, Marcus. Remember? She studied my face, worry creasing her brow. Are you sure you're okay? That must have been some nightmare. I forced a smile, trying to appear calm. Yeah, sorry. I'm fine. Just, be careful, okay? I love you. I love you too, she replied, still looking concerned. Try not to stress too much about your presentation. You're going to do great. And then she was gone, just like before. I watched her pull out of the driveway, my heart in my throat. I spent the morning in a high state of anxiety, jumping every time my phone rang. But as the hours ticked by with no bad news, I started to relax. Maybe it had just been a nightmare. My presentation went well, just as it had in my dream. Memory. I wasn't sure what to call it anymore. As I packed up my things afterward, I decided to call Alicia, just to put my mind at ease. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Hello. Is this Marcus Thompson? Ice flooded my veins. The same voice. The same words. I got a call from Nurse Reeves at Mercy General Hospital. She told me that there had been an accident involving my wife, Alicia. I felt a sense of dread and disbelief. When I asked what happened, Nurse Reeves explained that Alicia was involved in an incident at the school where she worked. A parent had become violent, and Alicia didn't survive. I was devastated. I couldn't believe it, but as I rushed to the hospital and saw Alicia lying there, lifeless, I knew it was true. It felt like a never-ending nightmare, and I couldn't help but feel that I would wake up to the same tragedy again and again. The pain and sorrow seemed to blend, leaving me feeling lost and desperate. Each morning, I wake up at 7:15 a.m. Each morning, I rush downstairs to find Alicia alive, humming in the kitchen. And each evening, no matter what I do, I receive that dreaded phone call. I've tried everything I can think of. I've begged Alicia to stay home, faking illnesses and family emergencies. I've disconnected her car battery, slashed her tires, and hidden her keys. I've called the school with bomb threats, and tried to get it shut down for the day. I can't seem to catch a break with Alicia. Every time she's home, something terrible happens. If she stays home, there's a risk of a house fire. If she takes the bus, it crashes. Even when she tries to run errands instead of going to school, she gets caught up in a store robbery gone wrong. It feels like the universe is constantly trying to take her away from me. Today, I've decided to take a different approach. Instead of trying to keep Alicia safe at home, I'll stick with her, every step of the way. Maybe if I'm there, I can protect her. As she leaves for work, I follow her in my car. It doesn't take long for her to notice, and she pulls over after a few blocks. Marcus, what are you doing? She asks, a mix of confusion and concern in her voice, as I approach her window. I need to be with you today, I say, fully aware of how crazy it sounds. Please, Alicia, trust me, it's important. After studying my face for a long moment, she finally sighs. Okay, get in. But you're explaining everything on the way. I'm in the car with Alicia trying to explain everything to her. I tell her about the time loop, about her dying every day, and about my desperate attempts to save her. Alicia listens quietly, gripping the steering wheel tightly. Finally, she speaks up. Marcus, I think you need help. This isn't normal. Maybe we should go to the hospital instead of work. No, I shout, startling her. No hospitals. Please, Alicia, just let me stay with you today. If nothing happens, I promise I'll get help tomorrow. She reluctantly agrees. We spend the day together at her school. I'm on edge, looking out for any danger, and getting nervous at every sudden noise. Alicia's colleagues give us strange looks, but she explains it away as a family situation. As the school bell rings, I start to feel hopeful. I'm thinking that maybe things will be different this time. Maybe I've finally put an end to the repeated problems. As my friend Alicia and I are walking to her car, I hear the screeching sound of tires. I turn around and see a car coming straight at us, with the driver slumped over the wheel. Everything seems to slow down. I try to grab Alicia and get her out of the way, but I'm too late. I always seem to be too late. The impact throws us both. I hit the ground hard, my vision blurring. When it clears, I see Alicia lying motionless a few feet away, a growing pool of blood beneath her. I softly say, no, as I creep toward her. No, no, no. Not again. Please, not again. But it's too late. When the ambulance comes, Alicia is already gone. Once again, I'm certain that it will all happen again tomorrow. The next day, I can't bring myself to get out of bed. What's the point? Everything I do seems pointless. Alicia always dies, and I'm always left alone to deal with my sadness. I hear someone calling from downstairs, worry in their voice. But I can't bring myself to face them. I can't bear to see them die again. Eventually, she comes to check on me. Marcus, are you okay? I roll over, hiding my face in the pillow. Please, leave me alone, Alicia. She sits down beside me and her touch is comforting. What's the matter? Talk to me. I don't think you'd believe me if I told you, I say quietly. Give it a shot, she replies in a soft tone. So I do. I tell her everything, my voice muffled by the pillow. About the strange time loop, about watching her die repeatedly, about my failed efforts to save her. When I finish, there's a long pause. Then Alicia speaks, her voice shaking slightly. I don't get it, Marcus. But I trust that you believe it. And I'm here. Whatever this is, we'll face it together. I roll over and meet her gaze. The love and worry in her eyes shatter something inside me. I pull her close, holding her tightly as I'm overcome with sobs. We spend the day at home, talking, crying, and trying to make sense of the impossible situation. As evening approaches, my anxiety grows. Maybe things will be different this time, Alicia says, holding my hand. Maybe staying home was the solution. I want to believe her, but as the clock ticks toward the dreaded hour, a feeling of inevitability washes over me. At 4:17 p.m., the usual time for the call, there's a knock at the door instead. Alicia starts to answer it, but I stop her. No. Let me. I open the door to find two somber police officers. Mr. Thompson, one of them asks, I'm sorry to inform you that there's been an accident. I don't hear the rest because, on the street behind them, I notice a familiar figure. A man in a dark suit, observing us. When our eyes meet, he grins, a cold, cruel expression that sends shivers down my spine. Then he turns and disappears into thin air. I slam the door, my mind spinning. Who was he? What did it mean? But there's no time to dwell on it because Alicia is on the floor, clutching her chest, struggling to breathe. The paramedics said it was a heart attack and that there was nothing that anyone could have done. Watching them take Alicia's body away, I can't shake the memory of the strange man's smile. It's making me wonder whether there's more to all of this than I initially thought. The next morning, I woke up feeling determined. I may not be able to save Alicia, and just the thought of that breaks my heart, but maybe I can at least figure out why this is all happening. I go through my morning routine before giving Alicia a big hug as she leaves for the day. After that, I head out to search for a mysterious man in a suit. I spend hours driving around town, hoping to spot him but with no luck. As it gets closer to 4:17, I find myself near the park where Alicia and I had our first date. Then, I see him sitting on a bench, feeding pigeons. I cautiously approach him, feeling my heart race. Who are you? I ask. Why are you doing this to me? He looks up with a cold smile. Ah, Marcus, I was wondering when you'd find me. You know my name. He chuckles. I know everything about you, Marcus. And about Alicia. A chill runs down my spine. Are you God? The devil? The man's laughter rings out, harsh and mocking. Nothing so grand, I'm afraid. Think of me as, an interested observer. Observer of what? I ask, my fists clenching at my sides. He stands, brushing breadcrumbs from his suit. Of you, Marcus. Of your pain, your grief, your desperation. It's all quite fascinating. Rage boils up inside me. I lunge at him, intent on wiping that smug smile off his face. But my hands pass right through him as if he's made of smoke. Now, he tuts. None of that. We're just getting to know each other. Why? I scream, drawing startled looks from passers-by. Why are you doing this? The man's smile fades, replaced by a look of cold curiosity. Because I can. Because your suffering amuses me. Because I want to see how long it takes to break you completely. His words hit me like a physical blow. I stagger back, shaking my head in denial. No, this can't be real. You can't be real. Oh, I'm very real, Marcus, he says, stepping closer. And this is very, very real. For you, at least. The phone rings. It's 4:17 p.m., and I know exactly who's calling. A man in a suit watches me closely and urges me to answer the call, hinting that it's about someone named Alicia. I feel a sense of dread but can't move. As I pick up the phone, the man in the suit vanishes, leaving me with an eerie message about seeing me tomorrow and the next day. His words stay with me, and I can't shake off the feeling of unease. Every day feels like a repeat of the same routine, and I'm torn between wanting to save Alicia and wanting to understand and defeat this mysterious force that's playing with our lives. Today, I decided to ignore the man in the suit and focus on finding a way to break free from this cycle. Over breakfast, I suggested to Alicia that we should run away together. She's surprised but intrigued by the idea of leaving everything behind and driving until we can't drive anymore. Please keep in mind the following passage. She scrutinizes my face, worry creasing lines around her eyes. Marcus, what's happening? You've been acting strangely for days now. I take her hand, hoping she'll comprehend. Please, Alicia, trust me, we need to get out of here. Now. Maybe it's the urgency in my voice, or maybe it's the love that has sustained us through 7 years of marriage. Whatever the reason, Alicia nods. Okay, let's go. We hastily packed some clothes and hit the road. While driving out of town, I keep glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see the man in the suit following us. But the highway behind us remains empty. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, I start to feel hopeful. We drive for hours, putting miles between us and the town where Alicia has suffered countless traumas. We laugh, sing along to the radio, and reminisce about old road trips. As the sun begins to set, we arrive in a small coastal town. Let's spend the night here, Alicia suggests, pointing to a charming bed and breakfast. I check my watch. 6:43 p.m. We've made it past 4:17. Past the time Alicia always dies. We did it, I whisper, tears welling in my eyes. We did it. Alicia squeezes my hand. Did what, babe? Before I can answer, a commotion down the street grabs our attention. A crowd is gathering, pointing at something in the sky. Is that a plane? Someone shouts. It's flying low. My blood turns to ice. No, it can't be. The roar of engines fills the air. I grab Alicia, trying to pull her to safety, but it's too late. The plane crashes into the bed and breakfast in a deafening explosion of fire and debris. In the chaos that follows, the screaming, the sirens, the frantic rescue attempts, I search desperately for Alicia. But deep down, I already know. As I stand there, watching the firefighters trying to put out the fire, I feel someone standing beside me. Did you think you could escape from destiny that easily? The man in the suit asks casually. Did you think you could outrun fate? I can't bring myself to look at him. Why? I manage to ask. Why her? Why us? He shrugs, and I see it from the corner of my eye. Why not? Your pain is exquisite. Your love, your desperation, your growing madness, it's all so deliciously human. I'll stop you, I say firmly. Somehow, I'll find a way. His laughter sounds like broken glass. Oh, Marcus, I do hope you try. It'll make this game so much more interesting. The next morning, I woke up with a new plan in mind. If I can't save Alicia by altering her fate, perhaps I can save her by altering mine. I go through our morning routine one last time, treasuring every moment with her. As she leaves for work, I give her a deep kiss. I love you, I tell her. Always remember that. She smiles, a bit puzzled. I love you too. Are you sure you're okay? I nod, forcing a smile. I'm fine. Have a great day, babe. As soon as she's gone, I start gathering supplies. Rope, a chair, a notepad. I write Alicia a letter, pouring out everything, the time loop, the deaths, the man in the suit. I tell her how much I love her, how sorry I am that I couldn't save her. I beg her to live a full, happy life. Then I prepare the noose. Just a few minutes before 4:17, I quickly take a seat. My strategy is straightforward. If I'm the first to go, perhaps the cycle will end. Maybe Alicia will survive. As I stand there, my heart racing, the man in the suit suddenly materializes. Well, he remarks, taking in my preparations. This is certainly a different approach. Go to hell, I retort, filled with contempt. He had a cold and cruel smile as he said, you first. I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and stepped off the chair. The rope tightened around my neck, and suddenly, I woke up gasping in my bed. It was 7:15 a.m. Another failed attempt, but something felt off this time. No scent of coffee, no sound of Alicia humming downstairs. I rushed to the kitchen, my heart pounding. It was empty, chilly. Alicia, I called out, panicking. Alicia, where are you? She's not here, Marcus, a familiar voice said from behind me. I spun around to find the man in the suit lounging in our armchair, looking completely at ease. What have you done? I demand. Where is she? He casually examines his nails, showing no concern. I didn't do anything. You did. What on earth are you talking about? He sighs as if he's talking to a slow child. You changed the rules, Marcus. You died first. So now, she never existed. The world spins around me. I grab the counter to stay upright. No, I whisper. No, bring her back. Please. I can't bring back someone who was never born, he says while getting up. But don't worry. I'm sure we can find new ways to continue our little game. As the reality of what I've done hits me, I collapse to the floor, letting out a scream of anguish. The man in the suit looks on, a small, satisfied smile on his face. Well, he says, straightening his jacket. Shall we begin again? The world fades to black, and I brace myself for whatever fresh hell awaits. Because now I know the truth, there's no escape. No way to win. Just an eternity of loss, pain, and the cruel smile of the man in the suit. But as consciousness returns, something feels off. The bed beneath me is harder than usual. The air smells different, antiseptic, sterile. I open my eyes to find myself in a hospital room. Machines beep steadily around me. And there, holding my hand, her eyes red-rimmed from crying, is Alicia. Oh my God, she gasps. Marcus, can you hear me? I try to talk, but my throat feels dry and scratchy. Alicia quickly puts a cup of water to my lips. What happened? I manage to croak out. Alicia's eyes well up with new tears. You've been in a coma, babe. For 3 months. There was an accident on your way to work. The doctors weren't certain you'd wake up. My mind spins. A coma. Was it all a dream? The time loop, the deaths, the man in the suit. As if he heard my thoughts, I glimpse a movement by the door. The man in the suit is standing there, observing. But this time, his smile doesn't seem cruel. It's almost approving. He nods once, then vanishes. Marcus. Alicia's voice pulls me back. Are you okay? Should I call the doctor? I remember looking at her, really seeing her. My beautiful, lively wife. No matter what had happened, what was real or not, none of it mattered at that moment. I'm okay, said, holding her hand tight. Everything's okay now. As Alicia called for the doctor, I closed my eyes, cherishing the feeling of her hand in mine. I don't know if I've won, lost, or simply escaped from some kind of cosmic game. But one thing I do know for sure, I will never again take a single moment with Alicia for granted. Hey everyone, it's time to get pumped up and show some love by hitting that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to smash the bell icon to stay updated with all the thrilling content. Thanks a million for tuning in, I'm super stoked to see you in the next video. You all are awesome.